Do people really lose body parts by sticking them out of a car window? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. However, there's no comprehensive data collected exclusively on the number of injuries that are caused when limbs are placed outside moving vehicles. But we do know that they occur. The question is, are we just paranoid about these things, or is there a reason to be a fearmonger? All right. I'm Jane Ubel, and this is episode 15 of Throwing Your Parents Under the Bus. With me today, of course, is veteran crash investigator and driver safety expert Mike Pehl, and our lovely social media expert and keeper of our enrichments, Natasha Johnson. Right now, we're going to hand these things over to Natasha, who's going to talk about an observation from a student who shares a sad story. Natasha?
Yes. So this enrichment observation comes from Clara, who lives in Robbinsdale, Minnesota. She tells us this: I was unable to rent a golf cart, so I asked my parents about their various driving experiences. They had normal learning experiences and got their licenses quite smoothly. But tragically, one of my mom's friends was playing a game with her friend where they would stick their heads out the window to get splashed by puddles when driving. She was too young when her head crashed into a mailbox and she lost her life that day. It was a reminder for me to be aware of what is going on with the passengers inside my car and what I can do to keep them safe.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So first of all, I think we need to clarify on so for the audience out there. So what these kids do is there's an enrichment after a chapter of driver's ed that they have to go, and one of the enrichments is if you can rent a golf cart, go rent one and practice these maneuvers. And a young lady said she couldn't rent one, so the alternative to do that in the enrichment would be to go ask their parents, what's the worst thing that happened? So that's why the golf cart came into the story here. So for my students and parents that know me forever, 45, 6, 7 years, I'm one that speaks of reality, and this stuff does happen. Does it happen every day? No. But does it happen? Yes. And this, I don't want to call it the stupidity, but yes, the stupidity, I'm sorry, of when we get a whole bunch of people not thinking together, stuff like this happens. And I'm going to refer back to the soccer sleepover. All right. When no drugs, no alcohol are involved, but a whole bunch of girls decide to go get a Dairy Queen at 11 o'clock at night and go for a little joyride to jump hills, and all of a sudden we got dead kids and people getting sued, and let's go back to the mom that would go over hills to get the kids to hit cops. And if you've listened to all of our episodes here, is all those. Do they happen? Yes. It takes a driver. It takes the disciplined driver to physically take control of their car. Is it hard to do? Yes. We had stories, and we got the instigator and the risk taker stories in our classroom. And, what do you do if you have 3 or 4 or 5 of your friends in the car that are not being smart? You know what? Do you have the discipline to stop the car and pull it over? Because we know when teenagers get together, young people get together, they open the sunroof and stand outside the car. They stick their whole bodies outside the car. They don't wear seatbelts. So we do know that when we're with other people, we don't think the way we normally should do. And tragically, here's what happens. So it does happen. And unfortunately for their family, because of a 1 second of not thinking, all of a sudden a young lady's life is ended because of a mud puddle that's going to splash in. Actually, I've never heard of it before, but it makes sense when it was read to me that, yeah, of course, stick your hand out. Well, guess what? If it gets clipped by a sign or something, it's going to be gone. So why would we think ahead's not any different? You know, I've seen kids come down the road after football games or extracurricular activities and they just won and they're sticking their whole bodies out, you know. Well, guess what? If the car loses control at that time, it ain't going to be a pretty story for you. Okay. Unfortunately, it's we, the ones that have to pick up all the pieces that have to deal with the tragedy because guess what? Young people, you're dead. That's the way it is. So remember, drive safe and Natasha. Ride safe. Yes, you got it.
That's right. .com, I'm supposed to
Yes,
say.
.com. Yes. Use your head. Come on, think about that.
All right. Well, I guess with that said, we are done for today. We want to thank you, of course, for watching us and joining us. And we appreciate your attendance and sharing our podcast with other people. You can look up the links on the below. And you can also go to drivesafe.ridesafe.com. And I know Mike jumped the gun on the goodbye just to mess us up. So we're going to try one more time. Just remember, we are
Drive safe.
ridesafe.com.
All right. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.